Welcome back to Grotzod Plays Minecraft. Today, we are going to have a little bit of a shorter episode because I'm going away. But that doesn't mean this video is going to be boring or this episode is going to be boring, because I actually have some interesting plans for us. Starting out with all of these animals that we've been keeping here, which we've had here since the beginning of the series. We're actually going to move them today because I just find it extremely annoying having them here. So we are going to build, I've done a little bit of terraforming over here. We're going to move them to the other side of this little ridge over here. And we're also going to move these guys to move with them. And we might, if we have time, we might even build a better chicken pen rather than just a hole in the ground. So I've filled in a bunch of holes over here, and I've cleared it out and leveled it out. So we are going to build a couple of pens right here. And then we're going to move all of those animals from over there by the entrance Cave of Death to right here. So I've even brought everything with me. Look at that. Look how organized I am today. Let me actually throw on my armor as well before I forget. Otherwise, someone will probably come blow me up because that's how this goes. Now I want this to be not just like a square-edged pen. This kind of looks boring, like what we have over there right now. Just kind of looks boring and uninteresting and uninspiring, if you will. So we're going to make this kind of irregular shaped, and I think we're going to do, because we're eventually going to have a bunch of different colors of sheep, which we'll be using to get different wool, but I don't think that we're actually going to focus on having different pens for different colored sheep. What we'll probably do is we'll actually do some smaller pens in an actual area somewhere where we'll actually have like the colored wool area set up. But we do need a thing for cows, and we do need a thing for just our general white sheep, because, well, why not? And we might as well do one for pigs. So why don't we do four different pens? And let's have them kind of, we're just going to make some random kind of shape. Hi sheep, how are you? Get out of here. You're in my way. So we're gonna go, I'm just making a random shape right now, and then hopefully we'll refine that to make it look like a better pen. And then what we'll do also, and maybe this won't be today, but we'll make like a farming hut as well, which we can then store, shears and whatnot in. So yeah, so that's the kind of the larger game plan for all this. And we're going way off course here. I actually don't want it to come out that far, but we'll fix that later on. And obviously I don't want these like this, because that's exactly what I was saying I don't want, is to have random shaped little bits. Okay, so let's just climb up a little bit here. So I think that's gonna work. We'll kind of round them off, little pens, and then we'll actually make them their own thing. So you know what, actually that's not bad. It's coming out a little bit, and we can have this as like the entrance into the pen area. So we'll actually have like a little walkway that comes down here. So these can be kind of like a divider between the two pens. It'll actually give us also a nice little walkway to go in, so we don't have to go around this giant pen if we don't want to. So it'll be, yeah, so it's gonna be like this. It'll be two separate sides to it. I'm just making this up as I go, guys, by the way. This is not planned at all, because yeah, I just needed something to work on today. Usually I take a bunch of time and I plan a bunch of stuff out, and I just, as you know, don't have time for that today. So yeah, so this is what we're gonna do. So yeah, pen 1, pen 2, pen 1 and pen 2. So what do we need? 4 pens. So we're going to need cows, we're going to need just regular sheep, and then we're going to need one for pigs, which I have some pigs over here. I'll go round them up. And then we're going to need one for chickens. I almost think that the chickens should maybe have a coop rather than a pen. So maybe what we'll do is we'll do pigs and sheep in this side over here. I don't even think we're going to separate them. We're just going to, no, I think we'll separate them. And then because I use cows a lot, because I need books and leather, so we're going to have cows all in this one big pen here. So that's what we're going to do. And yeah, so let me do a little bit of work on this, and then we'll come back and I'll show you kind of what I got and what I'm doing. So stand by. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got 2 little pens built here, and I also put some entrance ways so we can know where the walkway is there. What I've done is I went through, I randomized kind of how I placed these blocks, and then I smoothed them out so there wasn't random blocks sticking out everywhere. And then I made a place where this is where we're going to have our gates going in here. And instead of this all being just straight up fences, we're actually going to try and randomize it with a bunch of stairs, slabs, and fences. And yeah, the objective is to make this thing so the sheep can't get out, or the animals can't get out, but have it so it doesn't just look like a straight up fence everywhere. So we're going to try and do that. The sun's going to set here pretty soon, and I'm about to go sleep because I don't really want to deal with mobs. But we can at least get started on this. So we can throw a couple half slabs here and there. And we can remove some of them and put some actual, like, fences in here and there. There's nothing wrong with that. So stairs, half slab. We can maybe actually go stairs and then could we go stairs on top of that, do you think? Might look okay? Yeah, that looks okay, I think. And then same thing, stairs and maybe a half slab on this one. So it looks like there's holes in the fence, which I think can look kind of cool. Ooh, maybe not on that one. But we could go like this, actually. So there's like a larger hole there, and then here, maybe a stair going that way, and then maybe 2 fences, and if we like connect them with a half slab, that kind of looks kind of fun. So again, animals, things can't jump out of this. They obviously can jump up here, but that doesn't matter because we're going to fix that. I'm just going to quickly sleep as soon as it gets night here. And through the magic of editing, it is now daytime. Also the power of sleeping, which, honestly, is like a pretty amazing power if you ask me, sleeping. I would do much more of it if I had the ability to, but I'm not a very good sleeper, so I'm not sure where the story's going. But if you find out where the story's going, let me know. I'm kind of interested to find out what I'm rambling on about. Can animals get through here? No. See, that works. So, like, that's kind of cool. What if we put a little half slab down there so it's looks a little bit more connected? And then we have this. We can actually make some of these too high. So if I, just for argument's sake, go like this and put, a stair like that, it kind of, we won't have too many of these because we actually want to be able to see in, because like having the stairs like this, or having the fences allows you to like see in quite nicely, where this kind of blocks the view. But I mean that's okay once in a while. And then why don't we, we'll put a, so we can't do this. This isn't going to work because animals will be able to jump up on top of this little lip here, and potentially get out. So that's not going to work. But we could, again, we could kind of do this stair half slab trick. I think for this 3 section we're going to actually do straight up fences, because straight up fences is a good thing. Yeah, that kind of works. I think that works. We need to use more actual straight fences, just because I think they're actually gonna look better in the long run. So if we go, and then we can actually throw stuff on top of them, just to help them blend in a little bit. So again, go like this, and then kind of looks like some chips out of the fence, and the fence has some spots. Yeah, this is coming together nicely. So instead of you guys watching me put together this entire fence, I'm just going to quickly zip through this, and then we'll come back, and I will start doing the next level of detail. I have randomized the fences, as you can see here. I threw in some andesite to help break up the non-stop cobble texture, and I ended up adding a couple of these 2-high fences, which I actually thought looked really cool, because they add a little bit of a texture height variant, which I think it looks really pretty cool. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to dig out all of the grass around here, like so, including underneath any of the fences, like like this, and we're going to be replacing it with coarse dirt. And we can also, while we're doing this up, we can also mix in some regular dirt and some gravel. So let me just throw these blocks back. Regular dirt, coarse dirt, gravel, and these guys, so we can go like this. Get regular dirt in here, because it's not going to grow any grass on it at that distance. Oh, you will grow grass on you, but you will not. I think grass grows diagonally. Sure, coarse dirt. And we can also do the packed as well. I guess that only works on grass, eh? Yeah, I think that's going to be okay. And then on any of the corners, we can throw in some of these kind of spiky trap doodads. Maybe not that many. Maybe we'll just throw in... having such a hard time. I'm so indecisive on this episode. What's going on here? Usually I'm like, I know exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, I think we're going to throw them on the corners like that, and then we'll throw torches on top of them. So they'll kind of be doing double duty. So they'll be protecting our animals from potential wild beasts. Not really, but yeah. And maybe this is a little bit too far. We'll actually push this back in. See what it looks like from a distance here. I think that'll be okay. Yeah, we'll have a bunch of these, and just kind of it'll break up the cobble texture a little bit. And yeah, so let me quickly do this all the way around. Oh, the secret as well. Something we're doing is because we want to be able to have grass grow inside here if sheep are going to be eating it. So any blocks that are not full, so stairs, half slabs, which is a couple on the ground here somewhere. Actually, hold on. Apparently I'm wrong. I know half slabs can still grow grass underneath them. So maybe that's not going to be a thing. Maybe we'll have to leave a couple of these where there'll be grass underneath them, so as they eat it, it'll repopulate itself just in case. Because sometimes sheep will eat all of the grass in their pen, and then it can't keep growing, which is a funny but problematic situation. Okay, I'm going to go and do this all the way around the outside, and then I will come back and we will do between these two pens, this little section over here. Gablamo! I have finished all 3 pens. The only thing we're going to do now is we're actually going to go throw some details in there. This is going to be the pig pen, by the way, with our little water wallow, I think it's called. And it's all kind of dirt in there rather than grass, because pigs tend to dig up the dirt that they live in, because they like to dig for roots and stuff like that. So, got these gates. I think they look pretty good. I have little gates to each one of the pens, so we're just going to quickly go into here, and I got a little bit of frame rate issue, but I think it'll be okay. And we're just going to bone meal, to kind of give some stuff. I'm not a fan of flowers, because I'm an orc, so we're going to get rid of them. And then I made a few buttons, so we can put some stones down. Yeah, I think that's what they kind of look like, right? Yeah, there we go. So we got some stones in here, and then what else do we have? We have some dead branches. So, yeah, we'll put one of those guys. Oh, apparently they cannot be placed on grass. Okay, well, not placing any in there. We're gonna go and do up the pig pen. So I brought a lily pad because I thought that would look kind of nice. We can put a couple dead branches in here though. So. One there, and sure, one there. We also got some ferns, which we can, place a couple of them in the pig pen here, just to, especially around the pond. So like that, and I don't think we're gonna put any grass in here. We'll go like this. Let's put a little bit of grass. So, oh, and some rocks. We need rocks. So 1, 2, 3. And sure, 4. 1 by the pond. Okay, done. Pig pen. Looks like a pig pen. Not a messy pig pen, just a pen in which pigs would live in. That's you get what I'm getting at here. And lastly, we're gonna grass up this area here. I could have brought more bone meal. Oh well. It's okay. The cows will just have less tall grass. Or taller grass than normal. So eventually, this is something to make in another episode, is a proper mob farm, so we can get more bones. 'Cause I wouldn't mind actually building with bones either. I think that might be a nice addition. Can we place this on? No, it can only place. There we go. There's a dead bush in the corner of the cow field. So let's throw some stones out here. There's already already a sheep in here. I think he walked over the edge of the fence as the fence was being built. So he is now trapped in here. I think that's all we have. That is the cow field. It's bigger because we eat cows more often because we need leather as well. So I made it bigger. This edge here, as you notice, is 3 blocks high because it actually backs right onto a 1 high stone area. I'll walk around there and show you. So I just made sure that we had a tall enough fence to kind of make it so it doesn't look like it's kind of too super weird. I put more path blocks down in here as well. I might actually come back in at some point and put better paths down in here rather than it just kind of randomly threw them down, but I can make it actually look like it's an actual path. I also didn't do anything with any of this, which will eventually make a path that comes out from here and goes over to the town hall and all that kind of stuff. And, oh, looks like I have grass growing in here. Oh, well. So I ended up, as you can see, it winds around, and then it comes into stone, and I kind of ripped out some stone and put in some gravel and andesite to kind of break up the stone pattern along the edge. So, yeah, look at this nice fence here. And all these torches. It's kind of, originally I kind of wanted these to look like spikes, like, so like people couldn't ride horses and stuff into it, obviously Minecraft, but they kind of just looked like a way of breaking up the cobblestone texture is kind of what they ended up doing, which I am 100% okay with. Now we are going to go and get us some animals, as in we're going to bring those animals from over there and put them in here. First thing we're going to do though is we are going to go get ourselves some pigs, and I don't have any carrots, so we're going to craft some leads. So we need a couple leads, and we are going to go find ourselves 2 pigs and bring them back to their little piggy hut here, their pig pen. You can come with me, and you can come with. We now have pigs. There you go, pigs. Enjoy your new home. Okay, let's go quickly grab our cows. We have all of the cows. How many do you think will fall in lava? Any? Maybe? Maybe some? Maybe all of them? Excellent. Okay. You guys stay here. I'm gonna go round up some more. Okay, you know what? I think that is going to be good enough. Let's just grab the ones that are kind of loitering around here. See if there's any more that are just outside the pen here. There's one right here. Come on. Grab you. Grab 2 more. This one, and then we are going to go and clean up our cow infestation. They are like cockroaches, but cows. And where are you? Give me my lead back. Give me my lead back. 2 leads. And okay, there we go. Let's close up this door. And done. And while we're here, we may as well place the second door. No, I don't want to place the second door. While we're here, we may as well feed them and breed them, because we're gonna need to get some cow population up at some point, and I think this is the best way of doing it. Even though we're gonna go and get a whole bunch of leather and whatnot right away here. Breeding? You guys breeding? 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 You want breeding? Okay. You look like you're good. Get away from the door. Okay. Nom 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 nom. Okay. And there we have it. That is the complete project of building a new farm, or a new pen system for our animals, so they're not all right in front of our base there. They've kind of been a little ugly spot we've had there for quite a while, and I think it's now been cleaned up. Yeah, this looks a lot better. I think it's much more interesting looking, and it's kind of a little bit orcish. It kind of fits with our build. I'm not sure how I feel about these, but we're going to leave them there for now. They might get something else later on. And yeah, this has been this. Let's go do one more thing before we call it the end of an episode. We're gonna go and review all of the items that we have done textures for in our world so far. So let me just jump over into our creative world. I've kind of tidied up the place, and I thought it'd be nicer when I put this world up for you guys to download if it had some proper paths and if I had labeled things so you guys know what this exact build is actually connected with. So this was the building the lava river, the bubbling lava for episode 7, you know, and it's all marked out in red. I've done that with all of them. Whenever I do Pixel Art Mondays, this is what I use. This is the display room for that. So I built a little room so I can put them on this little altar and record them. But the latest project that I've been working on in here is, look at this, I even have another statue here with a nice tree. Look at how beautiful that is. I've actually started on the texture museum, so we can keep track of what I put in and when. So every single time I add in new textures, I put them on the wall, and then I put a little sign up. So episode 3, we added an ingot, flint and steel, and flint, and then I put them in here, but that doesn't really matter. Episode 4, the next episode, we added in coal and gold. I think I did gold because iron and gold are really similar. It's actually like, if you look, it's like the exact same pattern I used. I just kind of recolored it a little bit better, and then I guess there's a couple extra colors added in the gold that are not in this one, but that's largely why I kind of did them. They're almost the same. Actually, it's a little bit different right in here. But yeah, almost the same. That's why I did gold the week after, and that's why I actually had 2. This was a very busy week. This week was even busier, though. Look at this. I did 4 different textures in this week. So this is when I posted this on Reddit. This was why I think a lot of people actually looked at the Reddit post, because my T-bone steaks look a little bit, well, like something else. Anyways, yes, episode 5, we added in leather, which someone commented that it looks a little bit more like fabric. It doesn't look as like, because leather tends to be pretty rigid. It's pretty stiff, and this kind of looks like it's a little bit more flowy, like it could be silk or something like that. So we may come back and revisit that and make it so it's not as wavy looking, but who knows, maybe one day. Paper, I think paper turned out really good. It's one of my favorite textures I've done so far. And then, you know, raw beef and steak, which I think they turned out pretty well, but except for the fact that it kind of looks like that. But other than that, I think they turned out quite well, and I use them all the time because I'm always eating steak. And episode, so that was 5, and there's a door here, which we'll get to in a second. Episode 6, we added in the sun, so you have to go outside to see that, so I'll just quickly run outside so you guys can see it. I'm sure you've seen it maybe a couple times this episode. So we did the sun, which is very cool. Episode 7, we added in the feather, so whenever I'm crafting books, I guess, the comments of the day, which we're not going to have today, unfortunately, you got feathers. Episode 7. Episode 8 is actually over here, and it's the reeds or sugarcane. It's weird because it's called sugarcane in the game, but in the like texture files it's called reeds, which is a little bit confusing. Which why I always refer to them as reeds. But yeah, so we added in the sugarcane, which I think turned out pretty well. It's the texture for sugarcane, because sugarcane is based on the environment's color, depends on the color of it. So the actual texture looks a little bit different than the actual reeds itself, but it's okay. I think it turned out pretty darn good, anyways. So yeah, that was episode 9, 8. It was definitely 8. Episode 9, we added in the sugarcane item. So this is actually in the texture pack. This is actually what it looks like, this color scheme, but it's quite a bit more green in the like final when the version in game. But I guess if it was in like a swamp biome, it might be a little bit darker. If it was in like a desert biome, it would be a little bit lighter, more like sandy kind of colored. So yeah, sugarcane item, which is what we added in episode 9. And then episode 10, if you didn't guess already when you saw it, it is string, which I realize now it kind of just looks like a worm. If you put like googly eyes on it up here, it would look kind of silly. Either way, it's string is what it is. I may go back and revisit this one. I wouldn't mind having it so the texture's a little bit darker along the outside edges here, but you know, it's not bad. It's not that bad. I'm actually not going to complain too much about it. A lot of these, I guess, I can nitpick until the cows come home. But I'm not going to bother because they're actually all pretty good. Yeah, that's all of the textures. This is the texture museum, which I pointed out to you. So what we're going to do, the idea behind it, is there's going to be a hallway here, which will have any items and what episode they're related to in. So this will just be items going all along. Hopefully, I'll be able to get back into having some time and doing more than one texture an episode. The last couple episodes have been just one texture, but you know, I like it when there's like 4 or 2 or 3. That's a good amount. And then for the blocks, I started with a layout idea, like how would I do the blocks. And this is just kind of a rough layout where we have stone, and then you know, we have other blocks. But I almost think that a 5x3 wall is too big. I think a 3x3 will be fine. And then cutting out the chest and maybe putting... So let's just try a couple different ideas. Instead of having the chest like this, get rid of the chest and actually have the sign maybe on the edge here, like... Can I do that? Can this sign... Test. Alright, good spelling, Grotzod. Yeah. Yeah, I think that could work. So that's what I think we might do for the actual blocks, is do a 3x3 and then have a sign on the edge so it can show what's going on. Rather than this 5x wall, which is... It looks okay, but I think it would look better the other way. That's just my feelings. And then we don't need these chests here full of stuff. The reason why I have the chest here full of stuff is because the item here looks a little bit different than the item here. It gets scaled down a little bit, and it kind of warps the look of it. And you actually see your items like this more than you actually see them like that. So, which is fine. It's fine. There's a couple ones that I'm not super happy with when they're shrunk down. The sugarcane being one of them. I'm not really happy with the way that looks when it's shrunk down. It looks better like that. And same with the string. The string looks kind of weird. But whatever. It's all good. It's all good. Anyhow, that is going to be the end of the episode. Thanks for watching. My name is Grotzod. And don't forget to like this video and comment and rate and all those other great things so we can get more exposure and we can keep making awesome Minecraft videos. Till next time, don't forget that I'm not here for a couple weeks, so there may not be any more videos for a couple weeks, but I have not dropped off the face of the planet. I'm just not in the country right now, so that's a thing. Okay, until next time, let's just see if I can... Until next time, I will talk to you later, and Orcs rule! Wah!